My name is Chrissy and I am 34 years old. I am doing this video to share my story, and you will see that I'm gonna have some nervous tics because this is completely stepping out of my comfort zone, but I feel like it's necessary to share, to bring awareness, to bring comfort to others who are also going through this, and just for educational reasons. So what is my story? Well, my story begins when I was 18 years old. I found a mass both in my left and my right breast, and I had them both tested. They both came back negative for cancer, and they were fibroid tumors, which were nothing to worry about. So I didn't think anything else of it until probably about 6 years ago. My sister, at the age of 37, was diagnosed with breast cancer. She ended up having to go through all of the treatments, and she lost her hair. She got sick. She ended up having a lumpectomy. She has recovered and is now cancer-free. Also, about 6 months after my sister was diagnosed, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she also went through all of the treatment and had to have a partial mastectomy, so her left breast was removed. Of course, you know, all the thoughts flood through your head as your mom and your sister both go through breast cancer, and you find out your mom had 2 cousins at the age of 35 who had breast cancer, and just cancer in and of itself runs deeply in my mom's side of the family. So I just couldn't help but think in the back of my head, you know, what if I get it? What if my other sister gets it? But they had my mom tested for the BRCA gene, which is the genetic mutation of the cancer form, and they said that she was negative and told her that her daughters wouldn't have to worry about it. So I guess in their eyes it was a fluke that my sister had also been diagnosed and went through cancer treatment. I have experienced a lot of pain in my breasts, especially just in the past few years. So I had my physical examination with my doctor at the beginning of this year, and she had strongly urged me to get a mammogram and said that you should get a mammogram 5 years prior to the youngest age of a relative who got breast cancer. And so for me, that would have been 30. So I went ahead and did the mammogram, and they called me and said that it had came back abnormal and they wanted to do an MRI because you can see a lot more with an MRI. So I did that. That came back suspicious, so they referred me to a specialist. Long story short, I ended up getting a biopsy done, and it came back negative for cancer. It was not a fibroid tumor this time though. So he had just explained to me how just because we test negative for the BRCA gene, I went and got tested as well, doesn't mean that we don't have a genetic mutation, because there are several now, and there used to be 2, and they're just discovering the genes, you know, year by year, and we may carry a gene that they just haven't discovered yet. So he asked if we could do further testing, and I agreed. So we did further testing, and he came back with a 57.8% chance of cancer forming in my body within the next few years. And he had cause of concern because I have 15 masses throughout both of my breasts, and most of them appear to be fibroid, but there are a couple of masses that are not, that can be questionable, I guess. So he had given me 2 options. One option is to be tested and examined every 6 months for the rest of my life. So I would literally be exposing my breast tissue to radiation every 6 months, which is very unhealthy, and I just don't want to do that. The biopsy also was just very uncomfortable, and the lasting effects of it are also uncomfortable as well. So I don't see myself doing that every 6 months. And I asked what the other option is, and he said, well, the other option would be to do a prophylactic, I can't pronounce that, prophylactic double mastectomy, which would remove all of my breast tissue with the option of reconstruction. And I just kind of had a mini meltdown, to be honest, and to be quite vulnerable, just to think about losing my breasts and going through an invasive 6-hour surgery and the intense recovery period after that. I just didn't know what to do. And just with praying and talking to my husband and my family and my friends about it, we've come to the decision that, in fact, in 5 days from this video, I will be having a double mastectomy. So I wanted to share my journey, mostly because I watched other journeys on YouTube, and they were so helpful to me just to watch, you know, someone my age going through what I'm going through, and how they handle it, and just what to expect, honestly, because I just have to know every detail of everything. So it's so good to know what to expect. So I can comfortably say that I have peace about this surgery, and I see it as a blessing. I see it as a blessing because I've watched people very near and dear to my heart go through cancer, and I feel like God has given me this opportunity to prevent it before it can even come by the miracle of medicine, honestly. So here's what I know. I believe and trust in a God who has given me complete peace over this. My battle will be won before it even starts. And I have support from the people that I love, which is very important. So I will go through surgery and come out victorious. I know that. So I'll take you with this, with me on this journey, and this will be for my loved ones, for my friends, and for strangers who just want to know what to expect. And I'm willing to put myself out there and be vulnerable. If this could help just one person make a decision and go through this. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.